Morning and welcome to our day ticket tours. This month we are at, was it Mavericks Lake, isn't it, in Essex?
Yeah, Mavericks Fishery. It's a new part of the Burners Hall Total Fishing Tackle complex.
Yeah, mate. And we all know how that went. Burners always just full of monsters, isn't it, nowadays?
It is, mate, yeah. And after our last trip, it was a 1.5 acre lake. This one is a 2 acre lake.
This is
so we're going up half an acre at a time.
This is enormous, isn't it? So it's a lovely little day tip. 5 pegs. Neither of us have ever been here, so you're going to have to lean our way as to how we get on with this one. But there's a lot of fishing here, mate, isn't there?
There's a few, yeah, and it's a short trip, isn't it?
Yep.
So we've got to make something happen relatively quickly. So I think a fish a piece is probably the goal I'm going to try and set. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Fish a piece and get out of here tomorrow.
Well, we've got 20. Well, we got this as well as our mag thing as well to do, haven't we?
Yeah, so there's quite a bit to do in a short space of time, but fingers crossed.
Well, I got here 2 hours ago and I've managed to get rods in the water in the next peg here. Man, caught absolutely nothing so far. But I've seen a few jumping about on the far margin. Yeah. It was the lads before us, they had 1 each and 2. So it's only sprinkling to fish. It's not, I wouldn't say it's fishing his head off, but we've got a chance, mate. Bait in the water.
Yeah.
Right. So about the time you got
more rods out.
Your bait's in the water, yeah. We'll get back to you as soon as something happens, or even if it doesn't happen, you will hear from us very soon.
Yeah. Right, so we're down at Mavericks Fishery after a long 4-hour drive up from Lincolnshire. Ian's very far, well not too far, but down there in his swim, already set up fishing. I'm sure you'll have a word with him in a minute. I've just got my barrow out of the van. I've grabbed the net, mat and sling that the venue provides, and we're just going to have a little look in what is called, I think, the Angler's Lodge or Angler's Cabin. So yeah, we'll just have a quick look, just show you sort of what the guys at Maverick Fisheries offer with this. So inside we have got kettle, good stuff. So I'm literally fishing right next to it, so it means I won't have to use my kettle. Fridge to keep your stuff cold. We've got some energy drinks that you can buy as well. There's a few beers in there. I'm guessing there's someone's who's also fishing. And main part, Total Carp magazine. Not 1, but 2. There's Ian. And Ian is also down there. So yeah, cool little feature to the lake. You've got a microwave, you can buy some pellets, bits and bobs. There's all the sort of recent captures on the board behind as well. So yeah, if you're fishing in swim 1 at Mavericks, as I am, you've got this bit of kit behind you, which is absolutely spot on. So we'll catch up with you soon. So as Ian just said, he's got his rods out. My sort of plan of action for this place is probably the same as I would do on most day ticket venues that I've never seen before, and that's start off with a solid bag. But it is about 20 foot in the middle, so I've gone with an adjustable zig as well. You can only have 1 zig here at Mavericks, so I'm just obviously sticking with that. 1 on adjustable. At the minute, it's literally 6 inches under the surface. In half an hour, I'll drop it down and just sort of work the layers with that. And then yesterday, I had sort of an hour of spare time, so I tied up sort of 5 or 6 solid bags, so I'm ready to go. So with short sessions, obviously I got here at dinner time, we'll probably be leaving at dinner time tomorrow. It's good to be prepared. I never am. I always say this, that it's really good to be prepared, but I never seem to get time to pre-tie them. But like I said, I did get a spare hour, so they're all good to go. So I've just got 1 out on a spot at about 8 foot. And yeah, I'm just going to get the other one towards that far margin. Everything we've seen up to now with bites on this place, it seems to be on the margin, and we have seen quite a few fish on the margin today as well. So I'll get this last one out, and I'm sure Ian will talk you through his setup and what he's doing. I'm pretty sure he's doing very similar to me, but yeah, just nice, simple, effective tactics.
Well, there you go. A little bit of effort pays off. Saw one showing the end margin there in line with that telegraph pole. And this one we popped out there, I don't know, not 20 minutes ago. Little solid bag. And it has wrapped every other rod up, I'm afraid. But we've got a carp on the end of the line. There we are. We are proper tangled up with that zig line. Zig line. It's all over the place, that one. Not even a big girl. It's a little girl, little girl. Who do you think you are? Full of power, look at that. She's home. We got one. For a little tiny carp that was so full of bloody energy. That. Right. Well, that last fish, like I said, the bag had been in the water for 15, 20 minutes. Then I done the middle rod over, again, tight to the far margin, probably 4 foot of water. And there you go, we ain't even sorted the fish out yet. And boing, we've got another one from that far side. The shallower you go, bear in mind earlier I had them both in 8 or 9 foot, 10 foot maybe. These have been in 4s, 5 foot. We'll have you as well, darling. Here we go. 2 down, 118 to go. Yeah, they'll do, mate, won't they?
Lovely job.
Well, there you go. First of 2 bites within about 2 minutes of each other. I'm going to give him about mid-doubles. Nice little mirror, but he fought about a fish of about 5 times his size, to be fair. Even though there's none in here, 5 times his size. But we'll give him one. I'm going to put this one back now without too much fuss because he is I can feel him bracing up, very feisty. And we'll bring up the common and then we'll let you know what went on exactly to nick these 2 bites. Thank you.
Right, so after Ian just had 2 in quick succession, speaking to him, you'd had them out tight to that margin, hadn't you, pretty much? And then Tom and one of the other lads had a walk round and there's a lot of fish sort of tight to the margin. So I've moved a solid bag pretty much as tight as I can get it. And yeah, 15, 20 minutes later, it's gone. So I think with that, I'll definitely be moving the other ones, especially for the time being. Because yeah, it looks like they're all sort of taking a bit of a safe haven right tight to the margin. So the initial plan of being 2-3 rod lengths off it has not gone to plan. But luckily for me, got Mr. Ian Russell to show me the way, haven't I, Ian?
And there you go. Waiting to do this one, which I'm giving probably £21 and mad.
This one's probably 25, isn't it?
That's the unknown, never before seen, massive, huge common. But there you go. That's 3 fish we've had now. We haven't been here all day yet, so it's really nice. What a great little fishery, mate.
Yeah, nice start, isn't it?
Yeah. Notice it, work at it, move the rods, catch them.
Yeah. Hopefully, more to come.
Yeah, because the lads before us had a 36, mate, so there are a good few 30s in here. So
well, we've done our target, haven't we? We said 1 fish apiece.
We said 1 fish apiece, and we've done that now. So yeah. There you go.
Hopefully, a couple more.
Maverick Fishery, Lakey, whatever you want to call it. Thank you very much. Right, let me explain. Not that I've got anything against bait boats, because I love it. And it's quiet, and it deposits your rig and bait accurately. Stealthy, should we say. But I'm sure at some stage that rig up there will be pointed out to you, which was me trying to cast to the far margin. The tree hangs out so far that it makes sense, because I'm in peg 4, but there's no one in 5, so I'm fishing a shallow margin in peg 5 from peg 4, which clearly is allowed if there's no one in peg 5. But anyway, enough of that. So I did attempt the first cast down there, but it's got in the tree, and there's no way I want to be leaving tackle in the tree, and there's no way the fishery want tackle hanging in the tree. So the little boat came out of the van, and it's getting used, as you can see. So there you go. Right, we've got a little shelf there at 6 foot with fish just off the edge of it. Boom. So with that in mind, we're now back in action with the 2 rods that were wiped out by a trailer, although I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time if there's one carrying gear about. I mean, how do you get cut off in a place like this? But I suppose now I shouldn't have said that, because it may well happen. Turn you off, don't need you anymore. So if it was castable, I'd be casting. It's not, so the boat come out of the van. End of. No excuse, that's the truth.
So, little evening update. Obviously, I've moved them rods, had that fish pretty quickly, and as it happens, I think the fish have now come off that shallow water, just with a light drop in. They're going sort of down the shelf a little bit. Seen a few show, a couple of rod lengths off, which is roughly about 10 foot of water. So I'm just gonna chop some rods in. I'm gonna leave 1 tight just in case, and then 2 I'm just gonna literally bring off just until tomorrow morning. If I haven't had anything by then, I'll go sort of tight again where we've had them fish from. Obviously, Ian's down the other end. He's had them tight to the margin. I've just had, obviously, that one you see tight to the margin. And then Tom, the cameraman, had one on a zig. So, yeah, just coming off a little bit. I'm not going to go for zigs. I'm going to target that shallow water. Probably going to go around there and put a little bit of bait in as well for tonight. Now we know they're having it a little bit. Nothing crazy. I'm probably just going to put couple of spinners out there and leave 1 on the solid bag, and then, yeah, like I say, the other one I'll just I'll leave there as a single, so to speak, with a little bit of bait over them.
Right, evening setting in now, as you can see with the light level. Well, since them 2 fish, which were in very quick succession, most of the fish I'm seeing now are probably 30 yards to my left, all the way down the lake, halfway to the far side, but there's not an option to move him. You know, we've set up where we've set up till tomorrow lunchtime. You've got Jake in 1, Simon's in 2, Tom's in 3, and I'm in 4/5, but they've moved. But I've had a couple of fish. My baits are still in 4.5 to 5 foot, just short of the bank, and 6 foot on the left-hand one. So that's a comfortable depth for the night to go ahead. And listen, all the little ones are up there. The great big ones are down here. So I'm quite uncomfortable to sit on my hands and wait. The rods are in now, not going to move them unless I get a bite, or those who know me, that's a complete fib. Because if something happens here, or if something happens in a slightly different area, a rod will be factored towards it. So till then, quite happy. Look, a little shepherd's pie I'm going to stick in there in the pan in a minute. Or I might even nip down the hut there with a microwave while Tom watches the rods. Other than that, yeah, solid bags on all rods. Wafters on 2 of them, my little favourite. To be fair, little Ronnie inside a solid bag is something I've done a huge amount of this year and the end of last year. And that ironically done the bigger of the 2 fish I've already had, a little white pop-up in a bag of pellets. So, but unless something happens in the dark, and we say this it's so boring, isn't it? Then I'll see you in the morning. But I'm quite confident throughout the night. I think Jake and Simon up there will grab a fish or 2 as the evening draws on, or maybe into the dark hours, because as I said earlier, certainly the massive bulk of fish is in that 2/3 of the lake and not near me. But till then, shepherd's pie's going on, and afterwards, if Tom's really lucky, I'll make you another cup of tea. See you later.
I'm going to show everyone my setup, see if anyone can answer the question as to why that lead is ejected. Okay. You come outside in the rain for a minute? Yeah? So a slight anomaly this morning. I've had a fish, as you can see, it's raining quite badly, not quite as bad as it was earlier. I'm using these Gemini tidy booms. So I've cut the hook link, dealt with the fish, done all that, rested this up the bivvy to then change it, and I've just sat talking to Tom, and it just dawned on me that there's no lead. Now, if you've used these before, you'll know that the lead slides, or that passes through the middle of the lead. It's not a drop-off system. Obviously, if the line was to break, it will eject the lead. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that before, but the lead is gone, and I've got absolutely no idea where it's gone, and it's really bothering me, and it has been for the last half an hour. Like, where is that lead gone? How has it come off? There's no break in the main line or anything. There's literally no way it could have come off. It can't come off this way, and it can't come off that way. So unless it was a PVA lead and it's melted, it's absolutely blown my mind. But we're gonna go back in the little hut because I'm getting very wet. Right, so obviously this morning I've had this one that's sat here in the sling ready to be photoed, and I got the solid bag back out, waited for a little gap in the rain, and it pretty much went within 5 minutes. We did get a little bit of it on camera, but unfortunately we had a few issues with the microphone, so you'll only really see a bit of B-roll on that. That being said, it was probably £5 or £6, so we dropped the net and let it back, and now the rain pretty much looks like it's passed. We're going to get this one out, have a look at it, hoping sort of goes over the £20 mark. So we'll get her out and have a look. So yeah, as I say, definitely not a 20 pounder, but a lovely little Mavericks fish, probably 14, 15 pound. But yeah, not bad at all. Better than the sort of stamp that has been coming out. We have sort of got into a few of the smaller ones. But yeah, hopefully we've got a little bit of time left, probably 2-3 hours maybe. Hopefully we can trip one of the bigger ones up, or Ian can. He's down there making a brew at the minute, so we'll get this one slipped back and yeah, see if we can get another one out.
Good morning, and I'd like to tell you I had 4 20s and an upper 30. But I didn't. They definitely deserted me last night. I know Jake had a couple in the night. I saw him picking around up there for a couple of fish earlier, but they deserted me. I've had nothing whatsoever, not even a bib. Okay, and I have redone the rods this morning. So, but you can't catch what is not in your swim. But rather than bore you with fish I haven't caught, I might as well nip through the gear I've been using. And why I was using the paella on this trip, it's quite murky water, and the paella is by its own nature a bit more fish meals are a bit more pongy than the ice cream one we do, which is based on a nutty seed mix. So the paella was my choice for this one. And all I've done here to make it into a bag mix, got my bait mate out, beep, 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 beep. Little grinder in there, few handfuls of like, I think they're 6.75 mil, as Tom told me. Halibut pellets anyway, a few dynamite halibut pellets that have had this squirted all over them, and then a few handfuls of the 10 mil paella from OMC, and this is what it ends up like after a good dousing with the paella gravy, which gives you that. Look, it binds like a ball of ground bait. So that's what we've done, and then that's going in the bags with a little bright yellow wafter or white pop-up, and done all right. You know, when they was here I had a couple of bites, and when they are not here I've had no bites, which makes common sense, doesn't it, for everybody? So that's that. We've got about an hour left now. Oh, the speed on them hands, look at that. Imagine if I was a card shark. We've got about an hour left on the clock before I have to hit the motorway and head Heathrow bound. So if I ain't caught any by then, we'll have a little closure in the car park, and hopefully one of these. Do you know, my thought process was all their moves up there, and I know Jake's had a couple of little ones, Simon had a small one, even the guy holding that camera almost still, he had a couple of little ones on dark. My thought process was, I don't worry about that really, because there are some clonking great big fish in here, up to over 40 pounds to be fair, a lot of 30 pounders. Clearly they're not going on the munch in a frenzy, but I thought just a couple of them might have loitered up here away from all them little tiny ones that the lads have been catching, but clearly I was wrong. So enough waffle. See you in the car park, if I don't see you in 10 minutes, with a 30 pounder.
As we mentioned last time in the series, the whole idea about this is we go to different day ticket lakes and sort of show you our approach. Now, I did say in the forest video that me and Ian was going to fish different tactics, just to give sort of a bit of a broader idea of what can be achieved. Now, with this one, we haven't done that. We've both gone with solid bags, just because we're fishing so tight up to the margin. It's the best sort of form of presentation, and yeah, it works. So unfortunately, I've copied Ian a little bit on this one, but how we do things is slightly different. I know Ian ties up his little sort of fluorocarbon leaders, so to speak, and I use these things. So where you can't use lead core, which would usually be my preferred approach, I use these Gemini tidy stems. Now they're really sort of flexible. They've essentially got a fused boom in the middle of them, and it just allows you to pre-tie loads of solid bags up, ready for your session. So inside here, the mix I used to make this up myself, but Sticky now do obviously the bags of the mix. So you've got a load of little micro pellets in there, and you've also got some powder as well. I just find the powder just helps you compress that bag a little bit tighter. What I have added to this as well, they do trouties, so just a sort of darker style pellet for the sort of the warmer months. I've got some of them in there as well, not a lot, just sort of a few. And then yeah, I basically tie the bags up using the Corda small bags. Always use a small solid bag unless sort of you're dropping it in the edge, but
rule of thumb, 99% of the time, I'm always using these small ones. They cast better, and I just find it's like the perfect sort of size presentation. And you can tie loads up really quickly. In terms of the rig inside, nothing fancy, just a curve, size 6, just with a knotless knot sort of hair rig. Never go with anything too spectacular inside one of these because you want everything to be sort of efficient and fast to tie. So I know Ian, I think, goes with a Ronnie in his, but yeah, I'll just go with a simple knotless knot hair rig. So yeah, they basically end up looking like that. A lot of people loop them onto the end, but I find it much neater if you just tie them straight on, cut it off and then go again. I know you are wasting a little bit of line every time, but I just find sometimes with it being that short, when you're looping them on, you sort of have this loop of line there that just looks a little bit garish, and I'm not a big fan. When you have sort of a lead core leader that's this long and it's up here, it doesn't quite look as bad. So yeah, just on these, I always tie them on. And if you do use these with a tubing kit, tying them on allows you to slide the tubing kit over as well. On top of that, what I've been doing is just a little bit of the sticky manila glug, just a little bit in a syringe, and just pumping a little bit into the bag. Not loads, just enough to sort of cover maybe a quarter of the bag. And then yeah, it's been going out there, and that has been doing the trick this time, as it always does. With my sort of solid bag setup, I have it all in a separate bucket. So I think this is it's a Fox Aquos bucket, which I've had for absolutely ages. It's an EVA bucket with a zip round the top. Just keeps everything nice and dry. Obviously the mix is in there, my solid bags are in there. So is the PVA tape, and then any ones I've tied up, I just sort of screw them into the mix a little bit just to submerge them, just to keep any moisture off them. And then you have this little tray in the top that's just got a few hook baits, a few spare PVA bags, and then I keep the glug in the top there as well. So anything that I need to keep away from the dry mix, I just chuck in there. And what that means is grab it out of the van and I can use it wherever, and I don't have to dig through the rest of my tackle. It's all in one box, ready to go. Right, so that brings us to the end of the session. Completed a goal, didn't we? Fish a piece, we said.
We've had 6 fish, so yeah. What do you want? We've had 24 hours on a venue we've never seen before. They're definitely out of sorts. You know, I've seen some very big fish jumping about.
Yeah, me too.
But we haven't managed to catch them very big fish. But low 20, mate, and a few doubles. So, what do you expect?
Yeah.
We've had a good time.
Yeah, very. I know. I don't want to say short 24-hour session because they're all the same length.
No, I hate people to say we've had a quick 24
overnight.
hours.
Yeah.
Does their clock go faster than ours?
It was in and out. Then obviously I missed. Well, we both missed the early morning part, which ideally we'd like to be here for. But
the
you
thing
can't
is, you
always
say
make
that.
it work.
You know, the way it is run, I'll go catch. You're on at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And you're off at 9 a.m. So you're not going to get. There's two at a time there now. So you're not going to get that early morning period till when you're actually almost leaving.
Yeah, you almost need a couple of days, which in the future, obviously, these are going to be a couple of days. The one down at Forest was other commitments that me and Ian have got on. Yeah. It had to be a 24-hour session.
Yeah, enjoyed it though, mate. Another day ticket venue that we visit and caught fish on.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
There were doubles and a low 20. Could have been 330s and a 40 pounder, which is idiot. So
yeah,
just got to take one come. Would I change things now? No, I'd fish it exactly the same. Far marginal shelf, solid bags. This morning, if we turn up now, I'd probably put the zigs out.
Yeah. Because
there's so many fish showing in this corner. In peg 1, that is, by the way, if you're coming here.
In the deeper water
but
as well.
When I got here yesterday, it was going that way, and I had a couple of nice fish. So I'd do the same again now, mate.
Yeah. And if you want to come onto this venue, you can book on with Go Catch through the app. So it's Mavericks Fishery. Thanks to the guys, obviously, for letting us on.
Andy and Callum, thank you very, very much for the advice as well. You know, that was obviously very helpful about the marginal shelf and all that stuff. So, yeah, loved it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where our next one will be because we're both having a little bit of a sabbatical, aren't we?
Yes,
I'm on holiday and you're off for a little bit. So there'll be a gap for a month. And then after that, hopefully we'll be back again. So we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. The motorway is beckoning.
It is. And we've never said it before, don't forget to like and subscribe.